Hello and good morning and welcome back. I'm still sniffly. Cannot get rid of this cold, it's crazy out here. I thought to just take you through a bit of, some of my days. I find myself being really busy in January. And I know why, it's because I've booked myself to be busy. And then what always happens is that you've booked yourself in advance to be as busy as you can comfortably be and still kind of maintain calm and maintain ease. And then suddenly you're saying yes to a whole bunch of things because you want to do the things. You're now much busier than what you expected and also fully booked. I've now moved into the period of like deep existential dread where I'm like, if I'm not spending every waking moment trying to achieve something or trying to like catch up, then what's it all for, you know? The footage that you saw from this morning was me sending in a self-tape that I filmed yesterday, which had deadline this morning. It had deadline, closes in 20 minutes. I've sent everything off, everything's fine. And as I was looking through the footage and like deciding on what takes and stuff that I wanted to send off, I realized I forgot to film an ident. And an ident, if you don't know, an ident is the introduction to your self-tape. It's essentially where you go, hi, this is my name, this is the agent that represents me, this is where I'm based. And then you also answer any other kind of question that the production would like you to answer. So this was for an ad. So ads are usually quite straightforward tapes. They don't take me more than like an hour max to film. But because the deadline was like this morning, you know, like I had to send it in. And I was like, so I had to just very quickly kind of get my shit together, brush my hair, but it's all good now, it's all fine. I also journaled, good for me. What else do I have planned for today? Okay, tonight I'm going to a writers lab at National Youth Theatre. Very exciting. I've signed up for this writers lab. Basically they get in a new writer, playwright or screenwriter every week. And they talk to us about their process or about any tips and tricks. We get to ask questions, we do exercises. It's kind of like a workshop together, and it was a really good deal actually. And then I'm also doing the directors lab, which is exactly the same, but with directors instead of writers, which I went to yesterday, and it was so good. It was incredible. Such a good resource, and I'm so happy that I signed up for that. It takes me a while to get to National Youth Theatre. I'm currently also prepping for an audition. It's for KIO, and if you're Norwegian, you know what KIO is. It's the art university, I guess, in Oslo. And it's the only publicly funded art education in all of Norway. If you want to do any kind of like acting course, directing course, writing course, whatever, and it's not at KIO, you have to pay a lot of fucking money for it, okay? Because I already have a bachelor's degree from a drama school here in the UK, I haven't actually felt it necessary, or I didn't realize that I might want to go back into acting education until like late last year. I was like, no, maybe I actually do want that. I need to finalize a speech. I have about 3 or 4 that I'm between right now. And then I need to translate the speeches into Norwegian. And then I need to record this because it's all online now, the first round. What they also want is a 2-minute artistic expression. Originally, I was gonna clip together like my favorite kind of filmic expressions from my short films that I've enjoyed. I have a short film called Meet that won prizes. Like it has 3 prizes from film festivals. I love that film. Like I poured my soul into it. I'm not sure like the film expression is like allowed, so I'm not sure what to do. So I'm like, what other artistic expressions do I have?
X.
She looks kind of emo.
Where are you?
Oh my god.
We tucked in Junie. I know you don't understand insulation.
Take you through the city, take you through the night. Girl, you look so pretty.
Oh,
under all the city lights. This is when we walk around. I can see it in their eyes. Yeah, they always look so jealous of a pretty, pretty life. Wanna wake up beside you, yeah, see your skin through the sheets. I ain't got a place to be.
Well, while I have you here, I know I'm not connected to the mic, but it's because it's morning and also the dehumidifier is on, like, on high. Today, I have tickets for an art fair. It's in Islington, so it's gonna take me like an hour to travel each way. Ah, turns off. It's like 9:30. I really slept in because I had that writers thing yesterday, which was, by the way, so good. That was a really good session. We talked about dialogue, lots about dialogue. We talked about subtext. We talked about like monologue writing, speech writing. So the difference in external and internal monologues and speeches, like how the character says something tells us just as much about the character as what they're actually saying. Also talked about how our speech, like our natural human speech, varies from like text, like play text that you write, because of how we do dialogue or how we speak to each other. Like we speak on top of each other a lot of the times, we interrupt each other, and we also kind of don't do like a call and response. She's sleeping on my arm, but she's so cold in the winter. Fun fact, this is the only cat that my mum is not afraid of, which I think is a win, because she's terrified of... Oh, okay, fine. I'm gonna turn this off. The writer that was in yesterday, Evan, he had some really good advice on like how to progress in your career, and some tips about like sending your work to theatres and building up like a repertoire and a relationship, which I find to be almost the hardest bit, to be honest. I have rehearsals tomorrow, so I need to learn lines. I'm playing an old woman, which is really rogue character choice, because I always get told that I look like I'm literally 18. People are like, oh, I thought you were in A-levels. I pay tax. Like, I'm a working adult, you know? Just watching the birdies. Did you see something funny? Look at her eyes. Okay, let's go make coffee. God, she wants to eat them so badly. So let me take you through how I make my coffee in the morning. Can you tell I'm like going through probably a bit of an existential crisis? Who am I? What's the purpose of my work? How can I earn money but also be happy? I drink probably what you would identify as like a lazy cappuccino. The milk being oat milk, obviously. First thing you do, take your mocha pot, fill this with boiling water, okay? So boil, kettle.
Hot water up to the valve. Can you see the valve? And then filter. My partner is always like, how do you manage to make everything so messy? I have no idea. Well, I do know why, and I am diagnosed for it. This is what she looks like. I've like just slightly patted her down. This is the secret for a mocha pot. You need to put this on a very, very, very low heat, because if you put it on any higher, it's gonna start to burn the coffee, and so you're gonna get like a really, really bitter taste. I'm gonna microwave my milk. So what happens when your coffee is doing this? You take it off the heat. After this comes out of the microwave, I'm gonna be zooming it with honey, zooming it to get that all mixed up, and then I literally just pour in the coffee from the mocha pot. And that's it. That's how I make coffee. Every morning, I like it to be frothy, I like it to be rich. I love coffee.
Cause I keep cooking up at home, you keep bringing up the volume. It's only us, but it's all you. I don't give a fuck. They can solve their own shit. Let them know when to quit. Play around, you get hit. Yeah, it is what it is. Shouldn't have to tell you shit. I don't play like that. I don't fuck with being fake like that. Pulling up, come catch a fade like that. I'm reminded of my fate.
felt like I was cosplaying, earning about £200,000 a year. And there was these gorgeous, gorgeous pictures, these paintings, and they were just like my absolute favorite. And if I did have like £2,000 to spend on something, I'd spend it on that. It is currently, yeah, 5:15. I have a girl who's acting up because she's been alone all day. What are you doing up there? Okay, line learning. What do you take me for, some kind of idiot? You're clearly male.
Making a scene again, babe?
I am not your friend, and I'm reporting you. And you too.
I feel like we've got plenty to talk about, whether it's legal.
I am not your friend. I am not your friend, and I am not your friend, and I will report you. And you too.
Me? Oh, I'm such a sleepy girl. I was looking on Creative Access for new jobs. I'd really like to transition into working part-time in something that also benefits the rest of my career. Well, first of all, I'd love to be an assistant director. Call me up, girls, okay? I'll be the best assistant you've ever known. My partner's home. He's singing. So what I've then done is to find all of the, well, both West End and off West End theatres that are hosting kind of new writing and new theatre. I started looking at all of these shows on these theatres' websites, and I went, oh, I want to see that one, and I want to see that one, and I want to see that one. And that's by a really exciting playwright, and that's from a director that I really admire. I have booked myself probably about 6 or 7 theatre shows, but I'm smart about it. I only really pay for theatre if it's within my budget, which is under £20 per ticket. If it's over £20, it's like kind of pushing my weekly, or not my weekly, my monthly budget, simply because I don't have staple income. And what I'm gonna spend the rest of the night on, well, the next 10 minutes until my partner gets out of the shower, I'll probably learn lines for my acting class on Monday. You can do that with water, you know?
No, I don't even need that.
Rehearsals today went really well. I think it's really refreshing for me to do something that is not, like, it's really low stakes. Like, yes, it's going to be performed for people, but it's not going to be judged in the same way in audition or a piece that you're doing in order to kind of be told, yes, you're now allowed to continue acting. And with this, it's just like a bunch of people getting together and we're just making stuff for fun. I found that to be really refreshing. It is currently 5:30 and my Saturday is not over, okay? I need to learn my lines for my acting class, and then I need to block the scene that I'm doing for that class. I need to prep it, like, properly. I need to work on my audition for Q. But I've decided on a monologue. It's a speech from Blank by Alice Birch. It's a massive play, kind of filled with all kinds of different scenes. It's like ABC and AB scenes. And there is a speech in there about a tape, which is a really popular tape to do, I think, for auditions, because it's like so good. It goes through a lot of different changes emotionally. So what I now need to do is to translate it into Norwegian and then try to perform it, or like see how I like it in Norwegian. And then at, let's say 6:30, I'm stopping working. Okay, 6:30 is the cutoff. That's something that I'm, currently learning as someone who is self-employed, is to be really rigorous on like having breaks, because if I don't set out like, no, that's the cutoff time, I'm just I'm gonna dwindle and dwindle and dwindle, and I'm not gonna start tasks and then I'm gonna work into the night, or I'm not gonna start the tasks at all, and I'll just like have my break forever. We've met a bit of a crisis. This speech sounds ass in Norwegian. What the fuck do? I have to find something else. That's for tomorrow. I actually cannot. Good morning. It's the morning after. I have spent just a little bit of time translating a monologue from Against by Christopher Shin. We did this play in my final year of drama school, and I played a character in here called Anna, and she has a really nice monologue. It's a monologue that I worked on quite hard. It's also, this play was performed in a time where I was going through a lot personally, and it's actually just like a really good audition monologue because it's quite contained, but it's not very aggressive. I've watched a lot of people do monologues or do auditions, okay? I was an audition helper when I was in third year of drama school as well, so I've watched and helped in the auditions. So I know what a good monologue is and like how a good monologue hits, especially in an audition setting. Like, you don't want to talk about anything that's like too violent and too serious. You don't want to go into what is known as like shock factor. Like, you don't want your acting to be overshadowed by the text that you're saying. Also, you need to think about the context of the monologue that you're performing as well. Like, there is a beautiful monologue in Antipodes from also a character that I played in Antipodes called Danny M2, where he talks about like the chickens that he used to take care of when he was 15 and lived on a farm. But that's not a very good audition monologue simply because it isn't self-contained. You need the context of the rest of the play in order to understand why he's telling that story and why it's so like important for him to come across in a very specific way. But the Anna monologue, which is what I've come to call it, is very self-contained because it's made to be self-contained. And I just wanted to talk like the tiniest bit before my camera dies. What it means to translate a text. You can't be translating a text word by word. You have to find the meaning of the text, like what it's supposed to hold, and then find the equivalent of that in the new text, you know? So I'm referencing money donation from specifically like the oil industry in Norway to warfare. And I think this is it. Like, it's quite calm. Like, it's slow. It doesn't have like outbursts. It doesn't have... Yeah, it's not aggressive, but it's very powerful and it moves me, which I think is also probably the most important thing, is that it moves me, it interests me, I connect with it, I feel with Anna. And that's just something for you to think about as well. If you're going into doing auditions now for drama school or any other programs or anything where you're in charge of the speeches that you're doing, I think look for speeches that move you and that is connected to you and that interest you, and then look for speeches that are self-contained. Look for speeches that have a clear shift, like the character that you are in the beginning of your speech is different, or at least you have a different perspective, or you've revealed something, or you've shifted in some kind of way. Something changes you. That makes a good speech. I need to go. I need to get ready. Thank you for tuning in. This has been quite a text-heavy couple of days, actually. I've had a lot to prepare for. Goodbye. Thank you so much. See you next time.